Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Healthy Miami Gardens, a project of health and wellness located in the great city of Miami Gardens, Florida. This program initiated and an initiative of that Live Healthy Miami Gardens, in which we seek to engage our entire city, yes, our residents, our friends, our visitors, and all, to focus on health and being healthy. So, thank you very, very much for being here, connecting with this Facebook Live. This afternoon, we will engage in conversation and we'll hear the stories of health concerning diabetes, the sweet and the sour. We do hope that this will be most informative, and in fact, beyond that, you will share with others, as well as you would engage in being healthy, and particularly if you have a diabetes, to be able to see that there are possibilities, that this is certainly not something that is an automatic, should I say, a death sentence, or that would hold you back or keep you down, or however else, or even to get depressed. It is an absolute joy to introduce to you Ms. Pascale Auguste, who will tell us more, along with, well, she will introduce her partner from the Health Education Prevention and Promotion Organization, a nonprofit organization that serves the Miami minority communities to reduce health disparities, to change and save lives through education, screening, and support. Pascale, it is a joy to have you. Thank you so very, very much for being a partner and being here tonight. Would you be so kind enough to tell us everything about you and about the organization that I know for a fact serves wonderfully here in South Florida?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Pascale Auguste, and I am a registered nurse. I've worked many years. I've done hospital work and I've done home care. And I finally found my love and my what I really, really want to do is public health. And so with my experience, we started an organization called Health Education, Prevention, and Promotion back in 2014. And the goal and the mission is to empower the South Florida minority community to better health. And I think the key word there is empower, because I can tell you everything, I can tell you what to do, I can educate you. But until I get it that you say, oh, I want to get better, I empower you to want to get healthy. This is what our mission is. And we do focus on the South Florida minority community because of the disparities, because of the incredible differences that we hear about. And with that in mind, we go to churches, we go to adult education. We do focus on the adults. And we bring out the word. And I think the most important thing, in a culturally competent and linguistically in a linguistically appropriate manner, because you can give a lot of messages, right? TV, billboards, and nobody gets it until you go to the place where the people are and you explain it to them in a way that they trust and they believe and they understand. So that's our work. And I have with me today Crystal Jolly. There she is. She's a new member of our team, and I am so delighted. She's been with us for about 5 or 6 months, and she's really has been in. I've learned a lot. I think again, we talk about culturally competent. We talk about differences. we talk about age differences, different groups. And when you bring somebody in your group that can assimilate so beautifully, that can understand the mission, to grasp what we're doing without, seamless. It's been a delight having her, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her.
Okay. Well, as Miss Pascale say, my name is Crystal Jolly. I am delighted and honored to work with Miss Pascale. When I tell you she has so much knowledge, and I feed off of her just as much as she feeds off of me. So trust me, it's a pleasure working with you as well. I have been in the case management / social work industry for over maybe 12 years now. So I have my bachelor's from University of South Florida, my master's from St. Thomas University, and Miss Pascale didn't know when she hired me, but I'm attending university working on my doctorate degree for organizational leadership. So I kindly have a passion for wanting to help others. And I know for members of our community, we don't do better because we don't know better. So I feel like, okay, it's my obligation. If I know something, I need to make sure I'm sharing it with as many people that are willing to let me talk their ear off, because I can do just that.
True.
Thank you both, and welcome. Yes, to Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live today to talk about diabetes. It's sweet and it's sour. I welcome you on behalf of Tamara LaBruce, the Executive Director of Live Healthy Miami Gardens. I am Horace Ward, the pastor at the Episcopal Church of the Holy Family, located in the great city. Please say after me, the great city.
The great.
Pascale, before we continue, you did some work at the University of Illinois, which I found very exciting. Could you quickly say something about that work?
Yeah, I actually no, I didn't actually do the work. The University of Illinois did a lot of work to develop an evidence-based diabetic self-management program, and it stands for Diabetes Empowerment Education Program. And so they've developed that, and what we did at HEPP is that we invested to go and get trained in that program so that we can bring it to the community. And
Good.
so both myself, I'm a lead trainer, which means that I went through a little bit more of a training, and I can now train peer educators. And Crystal is a peer educator, and so she can also. I can do both. I can teach the class and also train others. And she's a peer educator, and she teaches the class.
We will get to, thank you so much. We'll get to the sweetness of diabetes and the sour of diabetes and still being alive. I have to sneak this in and give a shout out to St. Thomas University. I'm just bragging a little bit here. I did some postgrad work there at St. Thomas University, which is a great university. I look forward to continuing my work there. So let's dive into diabetes, sweet and it's sour. Can you quickly reflect why the topic, why the title here of diabetes sweet and diabetes?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Pastor, it is sweet and it is sour, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I think when we talk about the sour is when I looked at diabetes and I looked at the disparity, where among blacks as compared to white, right? And even as a nurse, when I was working and my everything that I've learned is that diabetes, you can control it and you can even prevent it. And so when you put those two together, you put that disparity, and then you put that if there was the knowledge and the and again the empowerment to use that knowledge, these statistics that I'm about to share with you, if you would allow me, is a bit just not acceptable, right? In 2018, non-Hispanic blacks were twice as likely as non-Hispanic whites to die from diabetes. So it's twice as likely. I just want to make sure everybody hears that. African American adults are 60% more likely than whites to be diagnosed by their physician with diabetes. Non-Hispanics are 3.2 times more likely. Non-Hispanic blacks are 3.2 times more likely to be diagnosed with end-stage renal disease, which everybody knows by that stage, you will most likely be on dialysis. And 2017, blacks 2.3 times more likely to get a lower leg amputation. Those numbers just really hit me. My brother died of diabetes. He was 67. He had lost both of his legs. A vibrant man who just diabetes complications just took him away. And so for those and again the prevention aspect, the aspect of if we can get to the point that we don't get to those complications, so many of these statistics will not exist. And that's my goal. And I believe in that goal.
And the statistics that you have cited certainly reflect the sourness or the challenge that we have. That is the reality.
Correct.
In our community. And what I hear you saying is that people of African ancestry, blacks, really are at a disparity and a huge, huge challenge that we have to step up to. Now, of course, none of this is necessarily new, but here we are this afternoon continuing this conversation. By the way, also this topic speaks very, very much, to my own life and to my own heart, because my mother lived with diabetes for a number of years. She managed her diabetes, exceptionally well. Though, if I might just go down this rabbit hole, she was an exceptional cook who knew to cook all the right things with the sugar and the oil and everything. But she was a smart lady. She did it in still a healthy way, if you can envision that. And we ate in small portions, at least, she did. She did die, however, of diabetic complications eventually. So, we've identified, the sour, the challenge by way of the statistics. Can we move a little bit onto, the sweet, what are the possibilities? What kind of self management, what and then eventually, what kind of what kind of foods? I'm a foodie, so I'm just looking forward excitedly to talk about. But the basic question is management of my diabetes.
Yes. So diabetic self-management is not one thing, right? It's not one thing. When we talk about diabetes self-management, I think we have to understand what diabetes is, and then we can understand, the aspects of managing it.
Okay.
And so if I can put it simply, diabetes is a chronic disease that's just manifested by an increased amount of sugar in your blood. And so, as simple as that may seem, that's how simple it is to manage it. So all the complications happen because of a persistent, not a spike, not a one-time, a persistent amount of too much sugar in your blood. And so everything that we do to manage it has to be towards not allowing that to happen, right?
Right.
And so, it's a metabolic disorder. I just want to say that, but because of your pancreas not making enough insulin, or the insulin is not working well enough to take the sugar out of your blood into your cells that gives us the energy that we need. So Yes, I just like to say that because we really have to grasp that, because I think people think diabetes, oh my God, oh forget it, what am I going to do? Depend on your doctor, not understanding. Diabetes is a disorder where you have your pancreas is not making enough insulin to take when the food that we eat finalizes its process, the sugar gets released in our blood. It must leave our blood to go into our cells to give us energy. And when we don't have enough insulin, or our insulin is not working well enough, that sugar will stay in our blood and begin to give us complications.
Thank you. Crystal?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in while she was talking about that. And that's something that we explain to our participants when they have the sessions with us, the difference between the type 1 diabetes and the type 2 diabetes. And I just wanted to point out a few more stats. Type 1 diabetes, there are approximately 5 to 10% of people walking around with type 1. And type 2 diabetes is about 90 to 95% of diagnosis. And an easier way to look at that, let's say right about now, or maybe last year, these are some statistics from the CDC. It was about 37.3 million people diagnosed with diabetes. That's about 1 out of every 10 people, and 1 out of every 5 people aren't even aware that they have diabetes. So for pre-diabetes, we have about 96 million people that are diagnosed as pre-diabetics, and about 8 out of 10 people that don't know that they're pre-diabetic. So we, kind of go over the difference between the type 1 and the type 2 diabetes, and like it just opens, everybody, they didn't know, they just thought it was diabetes. I just was told I have diabetes, but once we break it down and explain the difference between the diabetes, it helps them with the management and how to, take control of it.
Thank you for defining diabetes. What I heard you say, it's manageable,
Yes.
and that the creation or development of diabetes has to do with the non-functioning or the decreased functioning of the pancreas. You said.
Yes.
I'm just curious here. Is that a normal thing, or is that something that happens because of some other kind of behavior, that the pancreas would decrease production and create diabetes?
Right. So it's a metabolic disorder. So somehow our body is just not functioning correctly. The cause of it, believe it or not, 2022, the cause of diabetes is really not known.
Okay.
So we just we have it, but certainly as we talk about the management, if you think about it, you have one pancreas making insulin as the sugar comes. If all you're eating all the time is sugar, no matter how well of a machine this is that is supposed to produce insulin to open up the key to let the sugar into your cells, too much of it is just, it's a very simplistic word, but it's like almost wearing out your pancreas, that we just can't handle it. So that's where but you can have it in your family. You're born, you're doing everything right, you're a sports person, you run, you jog, you eat well, and then you go to your doctor, he tells you your pancreas is just not functioning as well as it should, you're diabetic.
Thank you for that clarification. That the decreased production of the pancreas for its insulin is a metabolic disorder. That is for me very helpful to know that it happens naturally. But what I also hear you saying is, we're moving now towards more talking about management and habit and the suite of diabetes. You talked about sugar and the craving for sugar and the impact of sugar, and that right away is something that I must be mindful of. Sugary drinks, sugary this, sugary that, sugary this is unhealthy, and it will. And correct me on this, that overabundance of sweetening can create more problems than I need to, and will hasten the onset of diabetes. Is that a
Yes. So one of the first thing we talk about when we talk about diabetic, not the first thing, but one of the things we talk about diabetic self-management is healthy food habits. And I
yes?
want to make sure to clarify for our viewers and our listeners, everything that we eat turns into sugar after digestion, except maybe, some of the meats, the fish, some of pretty much that's it, right? Everything else contains carbohydrate. So, rice, pasta, vegetables, people think, oh, that I'm just going to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Just be mindful. Everything that we eat will break down and produce, they have carbohydrates and they will produce into sugar. The idea is that when you talk about sweet juices, we talk about sodas, those are so high in sugar, and they're processed, and your body just doesn't digest it just like as if it was the sugar in a vegetable, the carbohydrate in the vegetable that produces sugar and as the end product. Then that's when that too much comes in. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that when we talk about sugar, which our brain and our muscles and our entire body needs, right? We need sugar which is the byproduct of foods that we eat. We cannot, the problem is having too much of it and having unhealthy foods like the
And
sweet juices, like the sodas.
yeah, and I just want to jump in and just talk about risk factors, because there are certain risks that put you at a higher chance of developing diabetes, which is why we say you can, when you're pre-diabetic, you can actually prevent becoming a diabetic as long as you do what you're supposed to do. You manage yourself, you manage the food you eat, the sugar you take in. Overweight, the reason why most diabetics have a hard time is because your stomach sits right on top of your pancreas and it's crushing your pancreas, which is keeping it from doing what it needs to do with the insulin. So the first thing the doctor will tell you is, hey, you need to lose some weight. We need to get that fat off of that insulin, that pancreas, so that it can do what it's supposed to do. So that's something that you can manage. That's something that you have control over. Stress is a big trigger. It puts you at a higher risk, not only for diabetes, but for a stroke, for a heart attack. There are certain complications that come along with too much stress. And that's not to say you're not going to stress, because we're people, we're going to stress. But what do you do to not stress? Or what do you do when you're stressing is one of the management tools. Hey, if you just need to calm down, or, just breathe for a few minutes, try some breathing techniques, listen to some water, whatever's going to work for you to ease your mind. Do it. Don't just continue to let that stress build up, because it's bad for you physically and mentally. Being a couch potato, that's not good. You can't just sit at home. And I know COVID happened and we couldn't go anywhere and we were restricted, so we had nothing to do but sit at home. And they had Netflix and chill, so everybody's just sitting at home watching TV, eating ice cream junk. And they made us more lazier, because now you don't have to go anywhere to get the food. You just order it on your app. Walmart bringing you ice cream, and I get some fruit as well, thinking you're doing something healthy. But you have to change your whole way of thinking, because if you want to be healthy, you have to live healthy and you have to do, healthy things. Just trying to think of what else is of risk. And I want to break down, we have modifiable risk and we have non-modifiable risk. So a modifiable risk would be the ones that I just kind of described, which means you can change them. You can change your weight. You can work on your stress. Smoking, that's a big risk factor for becoming a diabetic. So it's not easy to stop smoking, but you can try. And we tell people with the food, the healthy eating, we know we're not going to give up fried chicken. We know we're not going to give up, fried pork chops. We know we love our fried foods and our baked beans with a whole pound of sugar in it. But instead of just trying to give it up, instead of taking 3 chicken wings, hey, I'm just going to have 2 this time. I don't really need 3, or maybe I'll just take 1. Or instead of me filling up my plate with baked beans and macaroni, let's just proportion that out. Just get enough so that you satisfy that craving and be done. So those are some of the modifiable risk factors. Some of the non-modifiable risk factors would be your age. Over 45, you're automatically considered at risk. Hereditary. So if your grandma had it or someone in your family had it, it puts you at a higher risk. Trying to think what else or some other risks. You had a question?
I was going to say, just stay, if when you were pregnant, you were diabetic, which is gestational diabetic, you have higher risk.
High risk.
And if you ever diagnosed with pre-diabetes, you are at a higher risk.
Now, just because you have those risk factors, like I say, does not mean you're going to have diabetes. It just puts you at a higher risk. So once you understand, okay, look, I need to change what I'm doing. If I continue to go down this road, then I'm going to become a diabetic. So through the program, we teach you, we point out those risks, because we have participants that are diabetic and some that are pre-diabetic and some that aren't at all. They just want to make sure that they're doing what they need to do. So I think it's, fundamental that they get out there and they receive this information.
Shout outs have come from Joy and John and now Kathy. Joy gave a shout out to you, Crystal. So, please remember after this to shout back to Joy. John and Kathy have said that this is most informative. In other words, what I understand what they're saying is that you are breaking this down. You're going beyond the myth, or the myths, and there are lots of myths out there, which we're dealing with some, now, when we talk about pre-diabetic, you mentioned, it's not just, today you're non-diabetic and tomorrow you're diabetic. It can be a gradual process, and in which I need to be mindful, because, by the way, I am pre-diabetic. I need to be aware of the risk factors. And what I heard you say, that there are external risk factors. For example, the sweeteners or the sweet drinks or the sugary drinks. But and I love my fry everything, and pour on, the more oil you pour on, those are some of the. But you also talked about, Crystal, the internal factors, the stress, for example. We live in a very stress-filled time, and so that's another aspect of it. Learn how to manage my stress.
Absolutely.
So let's continue. What are some of the other necessary behaviors?
Right. So when we're going back to diabetic self-management, so healthy food habits, and that can be 1 hour with a nutritionist speaking about that. I hear some of the comments, moderation, avoiding the plate method is great. That half of your plate should be with salads and vegetables, and only a quarter with carbohydrates such as bread and pasta or rice, and only a quarter with protein. Another thing is physical activity. I tell you, this is a big one. I think we are in a society that we don't move. We just don't really move, and unless we are really, as a community, we're gonna have to get a hold of that, and we're gonna have to change. And so there you go. I think people get discouraged. They read up on it and it says, 30 minutes 5 times a week. Oh boy, okay, I can't. I work, it's a double shift, this, that, pick up the kids, I can't, or they say, well, I move around the house all day, and I'm pretty active, so we really have to get out of that mindset and just, and I don't know if anybody has ever done it, where you start a physical activity routine, and then when you get to not do it, it's like, you start to feel funny. We need to get to that point. We need to get to that point that if we don't move, I know if they say 30 minutes 5 times a week, I say let's start with 15 minutes 3 times a week. Let's put our sneakers on and get out and walk, bike ride, do something, some kind of activity. That when that sugar comes into your body, because we have to eat, we need the sugar for ourselves. We need sugar, but when it just sits there, and we don't burn it, it is a very high risk for diabetes and other diseases too, such as cancer and heart disease. So, you're killing a whole lot of problems at once by just, and don't, you have to, again, that community sense, right? If you can get a partner to do it with you, if you can if your church wants to do a walk group, if I know Live Healthy Miami Gardens have a few initiatives, then it becomes regular, it becomes normal. And I want our community to be that healthy, great, beautiful community that I know that we are. And so physical activity is huge. When you talk about diabetic self-management medicine, like take your medicine. I always we tell the participants, if you don't take your medicines, don't lie to your doctor. You go to your doctor, Mrs. X, are you taking your medication? Yes. Meanwhile, some of us are not. And this is the greatest disservice you can do to yourself, because that doctor is evaluating you based on this medicine that he thinks you're taking every day. And what is he going to do? Oh, well, your sugar is still high because you lied and said you're taking your medication, and now it's not working. He's going to double up on it. He's going to maybe add another one on it. So you must speak to your doctor. You must speak to your doctor and be honest. He works for you, right? Say, doctor, I take my medicine. It makes me feel funny. It makes me feel sick. I feel woozy. I don't like it. You have to talk to your doctor. But taking your medication is step 3 of diabetes self-management. Go ahead.
If I may jump in, we talked a moment ago about eating healthy, and that there are education programs and there's the support system to help us, to teach us, for us to learn how to eat healthy. Daphne Joseph was on the call just now, and sometime last year, I was part of a educational cohort that Daphne organized around the whole matter of eating healthy. Do you have that kind of educational opportunity at HEPP?
Yes. Well, during our diabetic self-management program, we do have a module on nutrition, and I love it. It's called health management through meal planning, and I think it says a lot. So if you think about it, who would think health management through meal planning, and this is so true. You can manage your health so much based on what you eat. And so as part of this program, we do have a module for that. And we invite people after, if they want to call us and they are diabetic or pre-diabetic, to sign up for our class. But yes, we do offer that. But
yes, indeed. And your telephone number, 305. Could you finish the number? Shout out, please.
749-5667.
And so that if I want to do that module on eating healthy, I can contact you and be a part of it, and you'll guide me how to get on.
And I can give you a breakdown of the other modules that we cover, just so that everyone is aware. The DEEP program, as Ms. Pascale explained, both of us are certified. She's actually explained and trained. I don't know why she didn't train me, but she is certified.
How busy.
Your time is coming. Your time is coming. Next week.
Okay, but we cover about 8 different modules, and we, condense them to about 6 weeks. And what I have found since I've been helping implement the program is that after the 6 weeks, the participants are like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do in my life next week? Like, that means I'm not going to see you guys anymore. Like, okay, what am I going to do with myself? Because they enjoy the classes that much. All of the surveys and the feedback we get is nothing but positive. And I know that makes Ms. Pascale happy. It makes me happy, but you can actually see that they're learning, how to manage this diabetes through what they're being taught. But I'll just give you a quick rundown. The beginning module, we go over the human body. I'm not going to tell you everything we do because you're going to have to come to one of our classes. But we go over the human body and we talk about the organs and how each one affects diabetes, because diabetes doesn't just affect your legs and your feet, and it affects your entire body because it affects your sugar. So we get them to understand that. We talk about understanding the risk factors, which I went over just briefly, but we go more in depth on how those risk factors affect you. We talk about monitoring your body, which is Ms. Pascale. She covered that briefly. We teach you how to use the glucometer to check your blood sugar. You'd be surprised how many people are supposed to be checking their blood sugar are not doing it because they simply just don't know how to. So we actually have a demonstration where, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it. And once they see it and they understand it, okay, then they're doing it. And I felt really good because we had a participant. He was eager to learn how to do it. He came in, he bought everything he had, and he was checking it. He came back the next week. He was like, listen, I checked my blood sugar and this is what it was. I got it low, but it was back high again. But he understood the importance of it, which is very significant, because if it's too high or if it's too low, you're in a coma. That's it, So we teach you, okay, why isn't nobody wants to prick themselves? And if you're pre-diabetic, you can actually prevent from having to get to that point through the management that we teach everyone. We talk about the getting up, the physical. We have the specialists come in. The last guy we had, it was, I want to say it's Chi Young. I forgot the name of it.
Qigong.
Qigong. So that was, we got up and like you were doing this. That's a simple exercise. You don't necessarily have to get out and run a mile to exercise. You can sit at home with your bands and you can be exercising. A lot of people, maybe they can't walk or they have balance problems. Sit in your chair. As long as you're moving, getting that blood pumping, that's exercise. Take one step at a time. The meal planning, we do a great demonstration on that. And once people get that demonstration, once you see it in front of you, oh my God, a lot of people are like, I didn't know it was this much sugar in this food, or I didn't know it was this much cholesterol in this. So once you see it, it's kind of like an eye opener. Like, okay, now I know, I understand why I need to no longer, eat so much fried food. We talk about the complications, the preventions. We talk about the medications. And like Ms. Pascale say, when you go to the doctor, don't leave that room until you understand everything the doctor has told you. You understand your medication. If you have a doctor that comes in, looks at you, writes on the paper, and walk out, get you another doctor. They work for you. You don't work for the doctor. If you decide not to come to their office, they won't get paid. So you need to be satisfied. Just like women, when we go get our hair done, we make sure we asking all the questions. If we don't like it, we don't want to pay. So treat your health the same way. You get one body. You can't pay for another heart. You can pay for some hair, but you can't pay for another heart. You can't pay for another set of lungs. You have to take care of your body. So don't be afraid to question your doctor. We teach them things like that.
Thank you so much for outlining all those modules. You were doing absolutely wonderful well until you got to that hair part of it. Okay.
I mean, they have wigs now for men. I'm just saying, they have them.
Yeah. Yes, but thank you very much. So what we've talked about this afternoon under the topic of diabetes, sour.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, as we move towards the ending, why is diabetes sour? And then we're going to move to, what is it about diabetes that is sweet? What's sour, and why is it sweet?
Yeah. To me, when and I love the title. I wonder who came up with it, but no. But to me, the sour is when we talk about diabetes. The sour is to me the first thing that comes to mind is the complications, right? The complications that we can avoid. That's sour to me. You know, when you see somebody without a limb, when you see somebody with a heart attack, someone on dialysis,
My mother died,
and you knew. The other sour to me though is that we live in a very rich and developed country where people can't afford their medications. Where diabetics, insulin, the only medication without a without a generic form, is so expensive that people sometimes can't afford their insulin.
that
They
is
they have something called Januvia. They have something called I forgot some of the other name, but Januvia is an incredible medication. And I have patients who tell me with my copay it's $100.
wow. That's
Why, right?
yeah.
We have also social determinants of health in this country, this very rich country, and that's super sour, where people either can afford healthy food or can't find healthy foods. You have to drive so far, if you have a car, to get to the place where you can find some fresh food. I preach all day long. Fresh food, fresh vegetables. Where are they going to get it? Where? And then the last thing is that, not the last, but one of the other things that really I'm fighting for is the lack of cultural competence with our providers. I am tired of everybody, all the statistics. Oh my God, the blacks. Oh, no, they have to get better. They have to eat better. We have to exercise. Somebody needs to sour up what's making it sour is these providers who, a Jamaican person comes in and you're talking to them about a bagel and about, something that perhaps, that doesn't come into their house. A Haitian person comes in and you're talking about certain foods that they don't eat. So it is your responsibility to look at what culturally do I eat, and you tell me. Now, you have to understand my culture in order for you to treat me. So that's the sour. That's the sour to me.
And it's important to be aware, to be educated, to be knowledgeable. But the other piece of it is to follow through, and that's where we get to the sweet
Yes.
of it. And in summary, then, what are the sweetnesses, nonetheless, of living with this disease called diabetes?
Yeah. I'm gonna say one thing and then I'm gonna let Crystal. But to me, the most beautiful, the sweetest thing is that we got this, right? We can, with the right resources, the right education, the right push all around, we can control these. These statistics do not have to be. The sweetness is that I am seeing people changing. I am seeing generation changes. I was on a Zoom yesterday. A woman was 96 years old, and her two daughters were talking about how the vegetables that they give their mom, and she was looking great. And so I said, well, what do you think is and she says, that's an excuse. We've got to stop that excuse. The sweet is there is hope, and we can go and my organization, Live Healthy Miami Gardens, churches, we can start talking amongst ourselves. I mean, I'm looking at the pop-ups, saying balances. Let's talk. Let's get everybody around. Let's go back to that community that we are, and let's help each other, and let's get healthy. Let's get healthy. And diabetes, I can tell you 100%, those numbers will go down.
Very good. And before the reflection, thanks to Kathy, who popped out a while ago and gave you both, the love. And here is Rico. Thanks all three of you for putting this together. Very, very informative. And I Rico, even though I'm going to join you with the applause. And with the applause, Crystal, bring on the sweetness of diabetes.
I actually have a little PowerPoint that we wanted to show you guys just to sum up everything that we do. Miss Quinn, if you're ready, we can show it now. So as you guys know, that's the organization, Health Education, Prevention, and Promotion. The numbers are there. We come to your church, wherever you are. We meet you there. We come to you. So whatever, just call us. And that was just a breakdown of the statistics that we talked about earlier. And Father, let me ask you this. What is your A1C number? Do you know?
Let me pull up my report. I don't know.
So that's something that when they start our class, they know nothing about what an A1C is. They don't understand what a fasting, blood sugar test is. They don't understand what a glucose tolerance test is. So I just wanted to bring that up because when they start, they know nothing. When they finish, they understand these numbers and they know what to look for and they are able to manage them. So that's something that we talk about. Next one. And this is what we do. This is when we had the nutrition specialists come out. Like I say, we don't just go around and lecture. It's a hands-on experiment. You participate. We talk to you, you talk to us. We do this together as a group. We show you. That was, I think we made a salad. I don't remember the name of the salad, but we did make a salad during that class. That was one of our classes in Liberty City. Some hands-on, they actually, and we didn't have to force anyone to get up. They volunteered, they wanted to do it. So they look forward to when we come in the last one. And this is what it's very rewarding. As you can see at the end, they're happy, they are excited, they show up. The participants we have, when we have a class, they're there every week. It's not just 1 week we may have this person and next week they're not there. No, once they come, they are all in. And that is the sweet part about it, is that they're learning from it, they're making changes from it, and they're able to live longer and healthier lives because of it. So that's my sweetness.
Diabetes, sour and sweet. And thank you so very much. And tell us again about your organization.
Sure. So Health Education, Prevention, and Promotion, we're here for you. Our number is 305-749-5667. Please reach out. We help with a variety of things. We can come to you to do health education. We provide support. We have a support group in Creole for Haitians with cancer. We help navigate. You call and say, you can't figure something out with this complex system. We help you. We're here for you, and we advocate when we're on those meetings and these webinars and these other universities and hospitals. We speak up for the ones who cannot speak. So we advocate, and we're very proud of our advocacy.
I speak on behalf of Tamara LaBruce, our executive director, and all the partners of the Live Healthy Miami Gardens initiative. Thank you so very much for being here today and having this lively conversation, which, by the way, was totally off script.
I knew that.
Very much so.
Here we go. Forget about it.
Which indicates the love, the care, and the compassion, and the joy that you bring to this. That we be healthy, live healthy, maintain and manage, but that in fact, no matter what, in the case here of diabetes, that there is the sour with its challenges, but then there is the sweet in which we can live, and we can live a full life. A full life. And so here is Joy shouting out again. Thank you all for this useful and helpful information. And so, Joy, you're going to be on for the next Facebook Live next week. Just connect with Crystal and you're on board. Ladies, again, one more time, I'm so enthused. Any closing words, or again?
For me, it's health is a how would I say it, is a moment away, right? It's a belief away. Health is there for you. Go grab it, Call us if you want some information. Call us. We're here to work with you. Get healthy. Our community got to get healthy. It has to be who we are. I want to hear statistics. African Americans are the healthiest people. That's who we are. We're going to get there. I believe it.
Here is John from Nairobi, Kenya. Hey, John, what time is it there in Kenya? Our Facebook Live is every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daytime, and do hope that and thank you, John, for joining in, and thank you also all others who have participated this live, and those of you who will view it online. Ladies, Crystal, thank you, Pascale, thank you so very, very much, and look forward to having you come back.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Come back before the holidays. So
we're going to do a presentation at your church. You just don't know it yet.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you so very, very much, lady.
Okay. All right.
Love,
Take care.
one
Thank
love,
you.
one love.